cook it. That was the deal.
In other words, stop interfering.
Couldn't have put it better myself.
Yes, cookery can be an art. Everyone wants to try the brand new sensation. You start to turn hungry people away, which only makes them want it more.
Well, in this situation, the truth helps nobody. But that girl can be utterly humiliated in front of all of her friends and family, or can have a perfect wedding to an imperfect man. God knows we've both been there. This show is about the women, their relationships, you know, loves that come and go, temptations that come and go, mistakes they make.
You think this is funny?
Honestly, a teeny tiny bit, yeah.
The series touches on all sorts of themes of friendship and loyalty and betrayal and guilt and motherhood.
It's about relationships, and it's about the interconnection of two slightly mismatched families, first wife, second wife, how they come together and how they find their way through.
One of the perks of working with food is that we have constantly got tables heaving with the most delicious meals. And unless it's been sprayed with loads of oil to make it shine or to preserve it, we are able to eat it, and quite a lot of the scenes we are eating. Have you seen the lovely food? Where do you think most of it is now? Inside me. Yeah.
This is good, but it's not great. I want more.
You might have mentioned this at the third tasting.
Gina is this wonderful chef and Sam running the front of house. So together they're a sort of dynamite team.
The executive chef wasn't here, so I made an executive decision.
This tension between the two women and how they operate differently, they think differently, they look different, everything about them is different, means that these tensions are going to come to the surface. And they will during the series, and I think the big question is, will the relationship survive when they do? And what will happen to these two characters that we've grown to love?
Sam is very good at people-pleasing and the business side of it. And if only Gina would trust that, everything would be tickety-boo.
So they sort of can't do without each other to make the whole thing work. And yet working together is what brings up the old tensions.
Often it's like, oh, we've got no money, we're struggling to make the hotel work. We thought it would be interesting to come from the opposite direction, which is, this is a huge success, but like, what are the problems of success, and what does success attract?
Sam doesn't interfere in the kitchen, but Gina does interfere, holds things up, or she withholds, desperate to control her own life and not liking it, flailing a bit when she finds the areas where she can't. So doing that thing that many of us do, which is to try and control other people's lives in an attempt to control your own. But really, this should be, you know, the A-team. They are the A-team. Our guests have sampled the very best. But tomorrow, I want them to leave here talking about only the food from this kitchen. So we're not just good, we are perfect.
Yes, chef.
I need something extra for this wedding, something mind-blowing. I want to see what you can do, if you think you're up to it.
Gina is this incredible chef, so I think he's got a lot of respect for her, but he knows that he's got to prove himself to her as well. He knows with Gina that you can't just be too green or too needy. He wants to kind of play it cool for her.
Death takes a little getting used to. Perils of a younger wife. When you were gone, they're gonna move on. Believe me, being dead doesn't make it any easier.
It's about putting two strong female characters at the centre of a drama, and also killing off the bloke in the first reel, which I thought was part of the point, really. It was saying, well, this guy's still an important part of their lives. As he said, you know, once his death was the best thing that ever happened to them, and that's really what the show's about. It's about, you know, getting rid of the man and seeing what happens next.
You want to talk about professionalism? Let's start right here. You have already seduced my husband in the workplace.
But I am trying to run a business and to move on from our ex-husband, unlike you.
Excuse me?
Leo was the love of both these women's lives, so he's very important, and I think that's relevant to all of us, that we have people in our lives who might not be here on earth with us, but remain with us.
I've always been a fan of powerful women. There's something about them. Catherine the Great, Margaret Thatcher.
He's all over it. He lives in everybody here. In his own mother, in his ex-wife, me, in his current wife, in his son, in his daughter. He's all over it. Not only does he narrate it, he also turns up in people's thinking, and he's literally there for various characters, and that's unusual.
Teresa conjures him up in her mind when she needs comfort, and it happens a lot in this season, and it's actually it's a really lovely layer that the show has this year, I think.
The relationship with Teresa is the reason I did this series. I like how awkward everything is between this mother and this daughter. I like the warring. It's very honest and it's quite difficult. It's a bit unpalatable sometimes.
Hello! Michael feels that his mother Sam dotes on him a lot. In this season, I think he wants to be seen more as the man, the young man that he's becoming. I think he's quite scarred from his father's death and trying to deal with looking after his mother, being a man around the house, and also trying to grow up at the same time.
We've got some fantastic houses in this series. Obviously, we've got the Penrose, which is our main location, and we've added into that 2 other really historic houses. Cornwall is full of gems that people don't know about, so they're very undiscovered.
Cornwall is another member of the cast here, and probably the most key member of the cast.
It's such a treat to be able to come back to Cornwall and to have a second bite of it.
You know, Cornwall is full of moors and witches and bad weather, alongside all the beautiful, the coast, the sea, the sky, the rocks, the cream, all of the light, the beautiful light that's here.
Cornwall's like no other place. I mean, you get 4 seasons in a day, but it's beautiful at any time. You know, there's a sense of the expanse of it. There is something just raw about it, and there are loads of very raw emotions in the show as well.
It's a very sensuous programme, very sensual. The landscape and the food and the clothes and the relationships.
And cut out, thank you. One more straight away. Okay, let's reset, go again. Straight away, guys. And action.
Well, perhaps there's been some kind of delay, Sir Henry. Traffic can be tricky, impossible.
Sam has been betrayed, there's secrets, and she has a mountain to climb when it comes to processing what's happened. And on the way up that mountain, she's tripping up a lot.
They'll be in your way, so you'll get glimpses of him rather than just as...
I used to look at you and see a confident woman, but now, you're desiccated.
Oh, I think families are very complex. I don't show me a happy family and I'll show you a lot of people pretending. I think very often people will decide that a programme is going to be popular.
Let's do that.
I think there's loads to talk about on that score.
Yeah. Very often because it's been done before and they'll be caught out and it isn't. And then somebody does something experimental, like this show does with having a ghost as a narrator. And it takes off.
I think families are complicated, never more so than in Delicious 2.
I'd say it's about family, that's what I'd say. It's about family that tells the truth.